As we all know, churches are not about buildings, but about people. But buildings can be incredibly significant in the mission of the church. In my ministry, I have the privilege of seeing lots of different church buildings, and at the moment, I'm impressed at the number of churches that are radically transforming their premises so that they can be effective crossing places into their community. Today, I've come to a church that's not only transformed its building, but it's transformed its mission and its place in the community. And all of this happened because they felt called by God and because they found the support of people in the local community and of the wider Baptist family through home mission. We're in Finchampstead, 8 miles southeast of Reading, and I've got with me Graham Robinson, who's the minister of Finchampstead Baptist Church. Well, tell me, Graham, this is where it all started.
This was Finchampstead Baptist Church back in 1995 when I first came here. We were a small congregation, 19 members, supported by home mission. And as you can see now, this has been converted into a house.
So tell me, why don't you need this building anymore?
Well, this building was fine in 1840 when it was originally built, and this was the whole of the village. In the last 50 or 60 years, all the housing has been built a mile north of here. And there was a vision in the church that we were needing to be where the people were. And back in 1984, a pastor, Alf Waller at the time, really believed he'd had a word from God. And the verse in Genesis 48 that says, "I'm going to make you fruitful, will increase your numbers, I will make you a community of peoples," was a prophetic word for this congregation. Fantastic. And at that time we felt that this was going to come about, but it would only come about by relocating into North Finchampstead.
With help from home mission, Graham was called as minister to develop a church in North Finchampstead. Graham and the church began by setting up a monthly seeker service at a local hall. The church then moved out of the old chapel into a temporary home at the new Waverley School in North Finchampstead. Over the next 8 years, the church searched for suitable land to build on. Twice it looked like they had found somewhere, but it didn't work out. Then they found what they thought was the right place. An architect was selected and the church met with the borough council. Recognising that what the church was planning would be good for the area, the council then offered the church, free of charge, a piece of land which had previously been unavailable. Finally, the church had found where God wanted them to build. Church deacon Jim Gallagher had experience of business negotiation and managing large projects and was available to drive the project forward during the next 3 years.
We were very clear on the vision that we had for the church, and we were very clear on the vision that we thought God was calling us to, and we stuck to that vision. And the council obviously wanted us to deviate from that and do something different as we went along, and we kept on having to say no, we're not going to do that.
There was also a real commitment to prayer here over many years, both from the church itself and also within the local cluster of Baptist churches, where the ministers met monthly and were able to pray together to enable this vision to become a reality.
It took 3 years of negotiation, primarily with the Borough Council, to bring the project to fruition, but it really was, despite all the barriers put in our way, it really was an obvious solution to giving both the Baptist Church and the community a focal point.
So we went very early on in the process, again before we'd even had any planning permission or anything like that. We met with the BUC and explained what we do as a church, and also explained what our vision was and what we wanted to do as a church, so they understood why we were doing it. And then we used them all the way through the process of trying to link in the best ways from a legal structure how to hold the building.
It was good that the church came to see us at the start, because it was quite complicated, but we could help them. And working together, we had a great outcome.
The challenge for us was to make this place not look like a church. We want to be a church that's very much involved in the community and people to know that it's God's church doing stuff. But a lot of people don't want to come into a church building. The overall cost of the building is about £5 million. That's everything, that's set up, that's professional fees. And we were just amazed how God provided that. If you'd asked us at the beginning, would it have been 5 million, we'd have been able to fund that. We would never have said it. And when we first started this project 10 years ago.
You're probably wondering how they managed to raise the money for this significant project. Well, incredibly, 70% of the funding was raised by the church itself from the sale of their old building and also from the sacrificial giving of members.
I'd love you to show me round.
The building is open 7 days a week from early till late. This is the main hall. It's used for tumble tots, it's used for sporting activities and other things, and then on Sunday it's our main worship space. This room is our chapel. It's a quiet room that anybody can use. The public library is open 6 days a week, run by the Borough Council. Sure Start Children's Services run a whole range of activities 5 days a week in this suite of rooms. The cafe area is a contemporary space, trying to make it welcoming and inviting for people. The loft is the most popular room in the building. We have dance classes and youth events and a whole range of other things. We have 2 meeting rooms. Events from art classes right through to business meetings are held in these rooms.
As you can see and as you can hear, there's loads going on. This is a fantastic sports facility. We have after-school clubs happening here every day. We've got gym clubs, we've got a club for the over 50s to come and play sport, things for families during the week and at weekends too. So there's loads going on, and the best thing about it is that this is a fantastic opportunity to share the gospel with people who live right nearby. The best thing about my job is that I get to combine those things with the Olympics coming up. We've got great resources from More Than Gold that we'll be using here to share the gospel through sport and through community events.
We're beginning to get to know the mums and parents really well, not just through Lighthouse but through meeting them in the centre. We're able to access other things that are going on in the centre and really promote the work that the church is doing. But really it's just about building relationship, which has really been aided actually by the centre and by just being here.
It's been really great being part of a multi-use community hub. We used to just have a mobile library in Finchampstead, and since we've come here we've doubled our hours and we've got 40 times as many people coming through the door, borrowing 5 times as many books.
The Parish Council, the Borough Council and the Church have worked together to achieve what was previously just unfeasible.
When I think back to 1993, when there were 14 members in this church, some of whom were elderly, and then I look today at a £5 million community centre, it's almost impossible to believe that that's happened in such a short space of time. But it just shows me that when a church is serious about mission, so is God.
The Crossing Places initiative has been developed by the Mission Department over the last couple of years to help Baptist Christians to be disciples, making a difference for Christ every day, wherever they are. At Finchampstead, the vision was to create what we now call a Crossing Places building, where many people would be regularly encountered through the various activities on the premises, creating a place where God's love can be experienced and where opportunities are also available for people to explore their faith.
The church is now in the right place, we feel. It's in the centre of the community. We're beginning to be able to fulfil the vision of the church, to be able to reach out with the love of God and fulfil the mission of Christ in this place. It's taken a huge amount of involvement and commitment from local people, both in the church, but some also beyond the church who are helping out here. And for years to come, this is going to be a great tool for people to be able to use for the mission of Christ in this place.
Well, you may be looking at this story and thinking, well, it would be impossible for your church to do anything like this. But I just remind you that when God calls people, he also equips them. With God, nothing is impossible. I wonder what Crossing Places God is calling you to develop in your church. There are so many amazing possibilities, but you're going to need a family around you. You're going to need the support of the Baptist family through home mission, through the mission department, support through the Baptist Union Corporation, and they're there to help you. Whatever your church circumstances, you need to pray about these things, and through your church and through your regional team to develop what God is saying to you. But I leave you with one final thought. It's not enough to be inspired. You need to take action.